Okay, picture this. It's 10 a.m. You've already had your coffee, you're sitting at your desk, but your brain just feels like it's wading through sick mud. If you're constantly asking yourself why you can't focus, well, what if I told you that's not just a feeling? It's a real, measurable thing happening inside your brain. Let's dive in. Sound familiar? I bet it does. Staring at a simple email, reading it over and over, and the words just won't click. And if it does sound familiar, I want you to know you are so not alone in this. This whole frustrating mess actually has a name. It's cognitive impairment from chronic insomnia. So here's the thing. The real problem with insomnia isn't just about losing sleep at night. It literally hijacks your days. It puts this measurable drag on your ability to think, to focus, and to just get stuff done. So just how bad is this drag on your brain? What are we really talking about here? Well, get this. Studies show that the level of cognitive impairment people with chronic insomnia deal with is equivalent to having a blood alcohol content of 0.05%.
Yeah, you heard that right. Let that sink in. Trying to get through your workday with chronic insomnia is basically like doing it after a couple of glasses of wine, every single day. But here's the scary part. Unlike after a couple of drinks, when you know you're a bit off, insomnia plays this really sneaky trick on you.
It's this thing called the subjective-objective mismatch. Basically, your brain gets so used to running on fumes that this state of dysfunction starts to feel, well, normal. You might think you're performing at, say, 80%, when objective tests show you're actually closer to 50. Your own internal yardstick for how you're doing, it's totally broken. Okay, so what is actually going on inside your head when you're this sleep-deprived? Let's pop the hood and take a look at how insomnia directly messes with the hardware of your brain. All right, first stop, the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as the CEO of your brain, right? This part of your brain is a total energy hawk. So when you're short on sleep, it's the first thing to kind of power down. And that's why you can still, brush your teeth or make toast on autopilot, but trying to do any kind of complex thinking feels like running through quicksand. And it gets deeper. Insomnia wages this three-pronged attack on your attention systems. So your alerting network, which keeps you vigilant, it's failing. Your orienting network, the one that's supposed to filter out all the noise, it's totally overwhelmed. And your executive network, the one that helps you make decisions, it's just paralyzed. The result is chaos. Everything feels important, so nothing gets done. And then there's this other character, the default mode network, or DMN for short. This is supposed to be your brain's chill-out, daydreaming mode. But with insomnia, this thing goes absolutely haywire. It kicks into overdrive, spinning up all those racing thoughts and anxieties, which, you guessed it, makes it even harder to fall asleep. It's a brutal, vicious cycle. Okay, I really need you to hear this next part. This struggle, this brain fog, this feeling of just not being on, it is not a moral failing. It's not you being weak or lazy. This is neurology. It's biology. It's what happens to a brain that's starved of sleep. Okay, so you've been there, right? You've Googled how to get better sleep a million times. You've tried all the standard advice. And if you're dealing with the chronic stuff, you also know that none of it really works. So why is that? Yeah, you know the drill. A cool, dark room, no screens before bed, avoid caffeine. Look, this stuff is all good advice. It's like the basic foundation. But for chronic insomnia, it's just not enough. It's not getting to the root of the problem. This is the perfect way to think about it. Trying to fix chronic insomnia with just sleep hygiene, it's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a wall with a leaky pipe behind it. Sure, it might look a little better for a minute, but the real damage is still happening underneath. And here's why. Here's the real reason that paint job doesn't work. Chronic insomnia creates this nasty thing called conditioned arousal. What that means is your brain has literally rewired itself to associate your bed, the one place you're supposed to feel safe and relaxed, with being anxious and wide awake. Your bed becomes the trigger for, oh no, here we go again. So if the paint doesn't work, how do you actually fix the pipe? The answer is you have to retrain your brain. And the gold standard, scientifically proven way to do that is something called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I. Now, CBT-I isn't just one thing. It's a whole program that tackles the problem from 4 different directions. It's not about trying harder to sleep, because we all know how that goes. It's about training smarter. It's about systematically breaking that conditioned arousal we just talked about and reminding your brain how to do what it's naturally supposed to do. And a huge piece of the puzzle is what's called cognitive restructuring. This is where you learn to catch those totally catastrophic thoughts that pop up at 3 a.m. The if I don't sleep, I'm going to get fired kind of thoughts. And you challenge them. You replace them with what's actually true. And look, this isn't about some fake blind positivity. It's about being accurate. It's about using the truth to shut down that anxiety spiral. So, okay, what's on the other side of all this work? What does recovery actually feel like? It's about so much more than just not being tired. It's about getting back to that sharp, focused, on-the-ball person that you know you are. And I really want this to sink in. That person you feel like you've lost, they're not gone. They're just buried under layers and layers of sleep debt. The amazing thing is, your brain can change. It can unlearn all those bad habits of insomnia and relearn how to sleep deeply and restfully. So, recovery is absolutely possible. But it all starts with one step. Maybe for you, that first step is just setting your alarm for the same time every single morning, no matter how you slept. Or maybe it's opening up a new tab right now and looking for a CBT-I specialist. The fog really can lift. You can get that clarity back. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?